George was driving from Redondo Beach, California to Snow Valley Mountain to go skiing with his daughters Adele and Sophie. That's when a car on the other side of the freeway lost control and hit the center divider head-on. The barrier did its job and kept the car from flying into oncoming lanes, but pieces of the car flew across and landed next to the Tesla. George said there was no time to react, and everything happened so fast, his only option was to drive through the storm of sparks and debris. George's daughter Adele said, "Papa, this accident will definitely make it on Wham Baam Teslacam." He says he doesn't remember it being so dramatic, but when they got home and watched the video, his jaw absolutely dropped. It really made them realize how precious life is and how it could be taken away in a split second. Then they prayed that whoever had been in the accident was safe. It was definitely a close call. We searched the news, but we couldn't find any mention of the accident, which hopefully means there were no serious injuries. Mr. T was driving his Model S in San Diego County, California when he was rear-ended by a Dodge van. The driver of the Dodge then kept on driving, almost hitting Mr. T again before crashing into more cars. Mr. T followed and honked in an attempt to warn others and stop the mayhem. The driver finally stopped further up the road, and Mr. T called law enforcement, who quickly responded. Once sheriff's deputies arrived, they suspected that the driver was under the influence of something. In the end, the Dodge driver was transported to the hospital due to his inability to follow even simple instructions given to him by a deputy. This is Mr. T's third submission to the channel. In his first submission, he hydroplaned his Tesla in California. Then he sent a video of his special window sticker that got a crazy amount of attention, which was captured on Sentry mode. We'll show you that video again at the end of this episode. And now this latest submission, I wonder if he realizes the irony of being hit by a Dodge van, considering that's the make of van driven around by the A-Team. Ruffy was driving his Model 3 in Mississauga, Canada. He entered an intersection on a green light and got T-boned by a car coming from the left. Both police and paramedics were called to the scene, and the other driver was taken to a hospital but later released. Ruffy later found out the other driver was uninsured and his car had been totaled. The Tesla is currently in a body shop getting inspected to see if it can be repaired or if it's also totaled. Patricio's wife was driving her Model Y to pick up their son at school when the trailer of a semi-truck flipped over. The truck driver was coming down a highway off-ramp and took a turn way too fast, causing the trailer carrying an excavator to flip over. Liam was commuting to work in Canton, Michigan the day after a snowstorm, but by this time the roads had already been cleared. As he approached some overpasses, a snowplow on one of them was clearing snow off the shoulders, sending it flying across the highway below and creating a wall of snow. Liam suddenly found himself in whiteout conditions with zero visibility. Autopilot was already turned off, but he decided to slam on his brakes anyway, not knowing what might be in front of him. He's glad there wasn't anyone immediately behind him because he's sure they would have hit him. Liam is upset with the driver of the snowplow because there was more than just snow getting thrown off the overpass. He heard rocks and ice hit his roof as he plowed through the instant blizzard. Liam sent along a shout out for Autopilot. Liam flies airplanes for a living, and he says that Tesla's Autopilot is amazing. He's hoping to get full self-driving one day because he thinks it's truly a remarkable feat of technology. The driver behind this submitter decided to overtake and pass him on the left. Right after that, his tires kicked up a piece of road debris roughly the size and shape of a lawnmower blade. It happened too quickly for him to react, but he felt the impact against the car. His Model Y was just 1 month old, and he'd just gotten it back after getting a full paint protection film wrap and ceramic coating. The silvery shard sliced sharply into the sedan's strong skin in several spots, seriously scaring the submitter. The front bumper cover required repairs, and the submitter had to replace the PPF wrap as well as the ceramic coating. The repairs took 3 weeks and cost about $3,000 US, and everything was covered by the other driver's insurance provider after they'd seen the Teslacam footage. Justin was driving his Model 3 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was catching up to a pickup truck after a winter storm had dumped some wet snow on the city. The truck hit some slush when the driver tried to switch lanes a little too early. So Justin backed off and turned off Autopilot to give the spinning truck a little space. Sheldon was on his way to pick up his daughter from an Australian airport after she'd arrived on a visit from her home in the UK. When he arrived at the airport, he captured a pretty sweet plane sighting on his Teslacam. He said it's good to see planes landing at the Sydney airport again. Troy was driving his Model Y one morning in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Yes, you heard that right, on his way to work. He got behind a big pickup truck that he suspected would roll coal on him. Sure enough, the driver lined up and released a puff of smoke aimed right at him. Troy points out that this was not an accident or a malfunction, since he had to accelerate hard to roll coal before quickly braking for the traffic light. This submitter was headed home from the gym while a construction crew was putting in new cables on his street. He ended up having to play a game of limbo with his car. Wham Bam, you made it, man! We can see car limbo becoming a thing. Remy was driving his Model 3 in Elgin, Texas, when the driver of a silver car took an unprotected left turn and pit maneuvered a black SUV, causing a rollover. The driver of the SUV kicked out the shattered windshield and crawled out before also helping the other passengers get out. The driver of the silver car was able to get out of their car and walk away. Nobody was seriously injured. Remy sent the video to local law enforcement, and the accident is currently under investigation. A police officer stated at the scene that the driver of the silver car was completely at fault after watching the Teslacam video for themselves. They also loved that the footage was so handy and accessible. Toby was leaving the airport after dropping someone off when he saw an Uber get T-boned at an intersection by a driver who clearly wasn't paying attention. The other driver told the cops that they were on the way to the airport and had come from the north when the video shows they were coming from the west. They also said they had a green light, which the video proves is false. The van has been deemed totaled, but the Uber driver was incredibly thankful that Toby stopped and shared his Teslacam footage. Without it, he may have been found partially responsible. John was at church when he got a notification that his Tesla's alarm had been triggered. When he got to his car, he found this Sentry mode video. This clip is sponsored by Tustin Auto Center. Tustin Toyota, get the feeling. Oh, what a feeling. Just kidding. John sends along a message for the girl who bumped into him. Please, 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 look behind you when backing up. Noel was driving his Model 3 one night in Ventura, California. Watch what happened when he entered an intersection on a good long green light. The driver of an Audi ran a red light, turning left and hitting Noel head-on. Luckily, nobody was injured in the crash, but Noel's Tesla was deemed a total loss. He filed an insurance claim, and the Audi driver took full responsibility. If you ask me, it would have been pretty difficult to argue against this video. Jeff had parked his Model Y outside of his workplace in Vernon, California. His coworkers were unaware that they were being recorded while taking their coffee break when his Model Y suddenly flashed them. What followed was some of the best dance moves we've ever seen on Wham Baam Teslacam. Let me just put on the right music here. There we go. Your coworkers seem awesome, Jeff. This guy is this week's real MVP, and we'll be sending him a Wham Bam hoodie. Now, let's roll Mr. T's Sentry mode video. Can you guess what sticker on his window inspired these reactions?